Hello and welcome to another session of Star Trek Adventures, second edition. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and we are coming in on the midpoint of our adventure. So last time the Kintsugi was doing drills when they received an alert and arrived in system for the Pleiades system. They discovered that one ship had already been destroyed, one Federation ship. There was another one that was dead in space, and another one that was kind of caught in the gravity well of the solar object. And there were two enemy ships, a Jem'Hadar attack ship and a Cardassian cruiser. And the the bulk of this between the character reactions and so on was that fight with those vessels, to which our crew acquitted themselves quite well. And we left off with those enemy vessels dispatched, the captain checking on the ship, the Cheyenne class ship, the Tace, that is currently, out of power, and heading to go and check in on the Stockton, which is a um, duh, 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 California class ship that has been featured a couple of times in the series so far, to check on that. But before we get like too much into that, I do want us to, we're going to introduce a new character. We're going to kind of pull back kind of a little bit of a previously on in some ways. It may ask us to do some character bits. But Sabine, do you want to give us a sense of who your character is?
Yeah, sure. I am going to play a Bajoran engineer named of Linka Savari. Yeah, her father was a collaborator with the Cardassians during the occupation, so her family name's kind of not great, even though she was working with the resistance. And when she got caught, she got house arrest, not like prison camp, labor camp, or some stuff like that. She decided to join Starfleet because what you gonna do? She likes being an engineer for Starfleet. Actually, it's she likes traveling, meeting new people. It's all that is interesting. It makes her forget the whole thing with her homework a little. But she also had an orb experience and is a little like, yeah, okay. She believes in the prophets, but she doesn't like to talk about it with the Starfleet people all that much because they don't understand that. Like,
Mhm. Do you have a sense of what orb, like what the aspect of the orb was? That
that's
like I know there's the
uh,
orb of time and there's hope. I know there are specific ones, but do you have a sense of maybe in your imagining what the theme was for it?
I, I mean, I got the value, trust your instincts, and the prophets will guide you from the orb vision.
Okay.
That narrows this down. It's been a while since I've actually paid attention to the orbs
Yeah,
myself.
we'll think about that. I know we've talked. One of the B plots that you mentioned was a Majoran artifact, so we
Mm.
may connect that up with that in the future.
Okay, cool.
Tell us about like where you think the strengths are of Linka. What is she? It is a she her, right? Or
Yeah,
any?
she,
Okay.
her.
Oh, she
She's a
her.
she, her.
Uh, uh, what does she focus on? What is her sort of area of interest? That kind of thing.
Yeah, well, she is an that is operations manager rank, or is that just a role?
It
I'm
is
sorry.
it is a role. So you're
Okay.
probably like a lieutenant. I think we talked about that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You're right. I just didn't write it down. Okay. So she's a lieutenant in engineering. Is, she's good with power systems and computers and things like that. Likes plasma conduits. One of her hobbies is going for parkour stuff through the vents
Hmm.
or the conduits, because that's always useful to know, right? She's also been rather, it has had some experience with sabotage for obvious reasons. She's a bold person. She likes to stand up to people that she sees as oppressors. She's not
Okay.
a silent person. Yeah,
Uh,
yes. And she knows
so
her shit.
okay. And do you imagine in your kind of picturing of your career, do you think that you've relatively recently been assigned to the Kintsugi, or have you been here for a while?
I think I've been rather recently assigned. That makes more sense because otherwise I would have to know all the
Okay.
things that have happened, and sadly I did not find the time to read the excellent,
There,
presumably excellent notes that were there.
yeah. There was, a recent where they had some crew transfers at
Mhm.
Starbase 66. So that we probably would have been there, probably been here
Okay.
for maybe a month
Hmm.
then
Yeah.
at this
Okay.
point. Tell us about the two career events. Tell us what the what what happened with the Maroon. Was that when you were on a Starfleet vessel when you got taken by
No,
privateers, or go ahead
that
and
was on a. I think it was on a space station. I was on shore leave, and I was talking to these friendly seeming people. And then suddenly I was on their ship and they told me, yeah, sorry, we abducted you. You have to repair our ship now because, I mean, you don't want to be on a ship that's kind of going to blow up, right? They were a little apologetic even about it. They
hmm
marooned me then on the planet because they couldn't have me call Starfleet, right? So they said, okay, this is a planet, it's an M-class planet. You're going to be fine. There are some parts over there. Whoopsie, there are some parts over there. Just you're gonna be fine. All's gonna be fine. Well, okay. She had to run through a jungle, which was not one of her core abilities up to that point.
hmm
Kitty. And yeah, then she had to. Well, their idea of what serviceable parts were was maybe a little exaggerated,
hmm
but she managed to build a distress beacon.
And the other thing is this spatial anomaly, a another wormhole, not
Mm-hmm.
the Bajoran wormhole, but another
Mm-hmm.
one. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, I was on a ship and we were crossing the wormhole, and the wormhole did what wormholes do. Started to behave erratically. There were no prophets in there. I think Savari is pretty sure of that, but
hmm
there was something in there, and she trusted in the prophets. Like, okay, the prophets know wormholes, and I'll just have to go with what I know. And she made some adjustments to the flux compensators and the warp core manifolds. And you wouldn't usually do that, but at this instance, it actually worked.
Okay. And when when people uh like have uh watched your character on screen, how do the fans at home describe your character? Do you think they find her off-putting? Do they think you find her adventuresome? Like what is the view of this character, do you think, amongst those
Um,
people?
oh, I think there is a discussion whether she's just reckless or whether she really knows what she's actually doing. They're still debating if she's gonna be a problem or if she's gonna be an asset.
Okay, okay. A little bit like when we got Ensign Rowe
Yes,
in as the
yes,
Bajoran. I
yeah,
love that. A
yes.
great moment in Next Gen.
Hmm.
Um, Commander Vate, Captain Vate. Uh, Tell me about a previously on bit that we would have seen of you interacting with Savari. Is it something, down in engineering? Is it during a drill? Is it when they first arrived? Give us a scene there that you think we would flash to.
I think it was when Lieutenant Savari was first assigned to the Kintsugi, and the um, you know Savari prefers to be addressed by her first name, and they smiles and says, "Well, that's no problem with me, Savari, and I'm sure it won't be a problem with your commanding officer." And this huge Tellarite grumpily stares at her through the engineering thing and says, "This is Lieutenant Linka Savari Latal. She prefers to be called by her first name. And he goes, well, Lieutenant Savari, that is not in Starfleet protocol. I will not be doing that. In fact, why should anyone on board, anyone in engineering refers to Lieutenant Linka Savari by her first name alone, then I will be very displeased. And he huffs and storms off, and he smiles and goes, welcome to the ship.
Yeah, I think she gives you a grin. She knows what you did there.
Yes, that was Alan's old character.
Yes.
He was great.
Latal mercifully transferred off shortly after that. Uh, uh, Varric, uh, what do you think would be a moment of interaction that you might have had with Lieutenant Savari? Uh, Counseling session, medical scan, uh, interruption on the holodeck. What do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking when Linka came on board, I had to sort of do her kind of routine medical exam. Sabine, I don't have a good sense as to whether Linka is like kind of an extrovert, like really friendly, or more Vulcan-like in her.
Yeah, that's actually I don't really know. She's pretty extroverted when it goes about machines and stuff that she's knowledgeable about, but she might not be super like, hello, foreign
Right,
person.
right.
She will respond positively if somebody is friendly, but she's a little shy, at least initially, because she
Okay.
doesn't know anyone. Tries to be professional, right? Because first of all, you're a Vulcan, and most Vulcans prefer professional interactions with people, so she will do that.
I think it is the most awkward um, medical exam in the history of Starfleet.
Oh,
That is
okay,
yeah.
okay. What makes it so awkward?
Well, I think neither of us are sort of willing to kind of like make the first step in terms of small talk.
Oh, I
Um,
mean, if you have some interesting tech in your med bay, we
that
could
could,
overcome that pretty quickly.
yeah, that could be good. I wonder if it comes out that Varric is really interested in cybernetics, um,
Oh, mhm,
and uh, maybe he sort of gets a notification that
mhm,
uh, Farga, who's our local augmented human,
mhm,
is ready for her review or exam or
mhm.
what have you, and we can engage in a
Mhm.
conversation about cybernetic implants.
Yes, okay. Sivari does not know much about that, but it is tech, and it's interesting. She's never thought about that actually. It was, well, but that seems to be a glaring a lack of knowledge on her part. She will rectify this.
I think
She's not like, oh my God, it's more like, yay, a new thing I can learn.
Vera can take that enthusiasm and run with it and say,
Mhm.
I would be happy for your engineering input on some of these new cybernetic implants that I've been working on.
Okay, yes, certainly. Let me read up on some of the specifications and we can talk about this.
Excellent. And in terms of the other engineering staff, there are a couple of engineering ensigns. The person that we probably interacted with the most is the very young chief of engineering, Tatasa, our Orion, who would be very glad to delegate to you a lot of tasks. And when take on the role of operations manager, has handed a lot off to you, and is glad to have someone who is kind of as young as they are in a ranked position. I think you've gotten along with 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 her. You would have noticed because you established I think in our discussion that you knew Devell, our other
Mhm.
Orion
Yeah.
from the academy. I think you would very quickly realize that there's some weird tension between Devell and Tatasa, like that Devell really wants to be Tatasa's friend and Tatasa kind of doesn't. And
Okay.
so you've seen
Awkward.
that.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was definitely a turbo lift where you had a perfectly pleasant ride with Tatasa, and then the bell got on, and it all got really weird. And then
Oh,
Tatasa got off, and then you had a perfectly fine time with the bell afterwards. But between it was like
oh
awkward.
wow, okay. I need to get to the bottom of this eventually, but maybe not on my first week. Um, I'm also Savari is someone who is not saying no if they're overworked. They will work more in classic Star Trek tradition, right?
Excellent. So we're going to move forward. This is a classic. We've got a problem. The problem has multiple issues within it, and this is going to be kind of the part of the episode where people are working on doing things to help out with the problem, figuring out parts of the solutions, trying to come up with a bigger solution, and so on. And we come in to a shot. We see the exterior of the Kintsugi. We can see the solar body in the distance. We've got a busted. One of the cells is partially destroyed. Part of the saucer section is destroyed on this California class ship, the Stockton. It's drifting. We see the weird, radiation, solar winds around it. We can see its shields sparking weirdly from the radiation as we come in. And Commander Vate, give us the captain's log before I bring you into the scene.
Yeah, it's coming over the CGI of the two ships, like in the Stellar Object and the Stockton, and they debris across the Pleiades system. Captain's log, stardate 2374. The Kintsugi remains in the Pleiades system. We've seen no signs of Dominion reinforcements on long-range scans. There are no survivors from the enemy vessels we were forced to destroy or from the Russo, but two Starfleet ships still need our help. Our first officer and chief science officer have been dispatched to the Taste, which still lies dead in the water further out in the system. However, the USS Stockton is in a much more dangerous position. It's been severely damaged and is caught in the pull of a stellar object. It's making it hard to even bring the Kintsugi into position alongside, and a tractor lock is impossible. My crew is working at solutions, but our time is limited. And then cut to whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think we cut to the meeting room, which we've seen before. It's a little bit different design than the next gen one, but we see certainly Tatasa is there, Savari is there, Varric, you are there because there are medical issues here, along with the chief medical officer and several other people, various roles here. And I think we see Ensign Werewash sort of assigned to give the briefing that DeVell prepared, uh, and is going on and is going over what we know. And I think we see the LCAR screen with the shots of the ships and various diagrams are coming up. And Werewash is going, so as you know, the Stockton's trapped in the gravity well of the solar body. Right now, the gravitatic forces and the damage to the Stockton mean that actually using a transporter beam to pull the ship out is outside of it simply won't work. Uh, we have been able to determine that at least partial life support and partial shielding is up on the Stockton. That suggests to us that while the warp engines are clearly down, at least a portion of the impulse engines are still working. The problem is that the fluctuating proteon fields are interfering with the sensors and communications. We haven't been able to get the best scans. They've been fuzzy, uncertain as well. We haven't been able to raise comms to the Stockton at all. That causes an additional knock-on problem. Right now, while there may be ways to clear out some of that interference for the sensors and communications, we don't have a solution for transporters. Given the fluctuating radiation, we looked at it and we'd be loath to do anything but the shortest spot-to-spot transport using our transporters. right now, and you see Werewash pause because he clearly doesn't want to say what he's about to say next, but it's sort of in DeVel's report, and he'll say, right now it's a race with three things and a question of which of these threats will be the end of the Stockton. Uh, the heat is increasing. It's within the close solar corona, and even with full life support, they're probably feeling the heat right now. The radiation field, the Proteon, does have some penetrative properties, even with the shielding. And so there's some issues from that. And finally, of course, the gravitic pull, the fall into the star is increasing as the ship gets closer. They We can tell that they have only they've been able to put modest impulse into trying to fight that fall. So that's the situation, Captain.
The more the gravity pull increases, then the worse the heat and the radiation field is going to get, correct?
Yes.
And can we slow them down with the tractor from the Kintsugi, or do we need to seek alternatives? Werewash.
Werewash will say, as it stands with the tractor beams as we have them now, our worries are if we try to slow them with it, that we might run the risk of causing more structural damage. We don't have a good on the ground, on the ship assessment of where they took their hits. I'd be afraid we could rip the saucer section off or the working nacelle if we didn't do it correctly.
Okay.
We could use a tractor beam to establish a parallel connection. If we wanted to match speed, keep us at a relative distance to it, we could certainly use that. It
I
also
want
might be possible to use tractor beams. If we had to send shuttles over, we can use the tractor beams to pull shuttles back.
Good to know. Okay. Ensign taps his comm badge. Mahoney, bring us in match speed and orbit with the Stockton. Werewash is going to help you establish a tractor link to make that easier for you. And probably a nervous, okay, Captain. Yeah. We're going to need to take some shuttles over there, ladies, people. We're going to do a flyby. We're going to survey the Stockton from the outside. We're going to try and find if there are any points of the structure that are safe for the Kintsugi to lock on. And then we're going to go aboard. I'm going to need specialists in restoring power. If we can get the Stockton's impulse drive fully repaired, then maybe they can punch out of here. At the very least, they can slow themselves down longer than we currently can from the outside. I'm going to need a medic. We're going to need to treat any radiation burns, any battle damage. But one of our major tasks is we're going to need to identify where the surviving crew are and how many people we're talking about. The Stockton took major damage during that battle. There could only be a handful of survivors, or there could be mass casualties that we need to get medbay prepped for. Who do we have in engineering who's good with power systems, Tatasa? Savari?
Tatasa will nod to Lieutenant Savari.
I got some experience with power systems. I was also wondering if you said the comms were down. Did they send us a distress beacon?
We responded to a distress signal.
Oh, it's okay.
This is for the Dominion attack ships that we destroyed.
Yes, but maybe we can reconfigure the distress signal to get us some limited communications with the Stockton.
Interesting.
Yeah, is that distress signal still signaling from the Stockton, or like is there any sort of outside comms coming from them in any shape?
Well, if it is going, you're not necessarily picking it up right now, but it may be possible to use that as a beacon to punch through on the comms.
I think this is our brief prep before we head over in a shuttle to go and do the mission, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I would like Mr. Varick can you prepare some anti-radiation meds? I would like to create a trait of some kind for us to have the right kind of medication to help ourselves from being hurt by radiation as
Sure.
we go across.
Yeah.
I want to do the Star Trek scene of we knew this was a danger and we've got a fully functioning med bay. Let's hit ourselves with some cool hypo sprays before we get across, right?
Absolutely. Let's start with that. Let's do that medical roll, and then we'll come back if we want to do like you making a roll to create a trait or to generate momentum, and then we can come to Savari on the comms re-engineering. So Varric, uh, what what do you think is appropriate for figuring out about this radiation and getting materials ready for it?
I think from Medbay, I do some scans and some modeling to identify kind of the right inoculation against radiation poisoning.
Okay.
And I'm creating both captain requested inoculation, so I'm going to work on that. But I'm also taking stuff to treat or if I roll well enough, I'll be taking stuff to treat the crew there.
Okay. So let's say reason plus medicine. Plus the ship's die. And I think let's say that you will give you that focus of that the tricorders medical sensory given
Okay.
or internal medicine. Either one of those I think is appropriate for
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
So you are 2d20 for that, looking for 15 or less, and the ship is 2d20. Let's say comms plus medicine, looking for a 12 or less,
All right.
or 1d20 rather, looking
I'm
for 12 or
using
less.
DD dice to roll two different colored dice. Oh my God. Remember last week when I was rolling so well?
You were rolling so well last
For
week.
Ensign Juris.
Yes. Um, do you want to spend your determination? Do you still
I
have
think
it? I don't think you have it. Unless, did you spend it last time? I can't remember.
I do not have a determination. I don't remember. I think it was like
Okay.
two or three sessions ago.
Mr.
Then,
Varric spend determination last session.
yeah, I think because you were just doing juras, so I don't think you reset your determination for the previous
Oh,
session.
do I get a new one every
Every
session?
session, yeah.
Oh yeah, then I will suspend. I will spend my determination to not totally screw up a direct order from the captain. That lets me re-roll everything.
Lets you reroll everything that you want. The 20 is a complication, which is a bad thing.
Right. So I'm re-rolling everything.
Okay. So
That's
that is three successes. The crit on the ship's die.
okay.
Actually, no, that's not a crit on ship's die. 'Cause ship's die, the ship's
Right.
medicine is two. But you get two successes, which is enough to create essentially the trait that is a uh, 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 radiation rad medicine that gives us a fictional positioning. What you will know, I'll give this to you since you're working on this, is the proton radiation, the field radiation is a real problem because while the shielding can stop it, there is a certain amount of leakage that goes through it. And so it is going to be building up over time. The particular problem is beyond the normal radiation sickness, uh, proton, uh, proton radiation over time begins to debilitate sensory organs. It can cause loss of feeling in the nerves. It can cause loss of vision, can cause loss of hearing. It depends on the person's susceptibility. Does that seem like a reasonable thing to give you?
Yes.
Okay.
Just for my own clarification, I imagine we were wearing suits over there. It sounds like the suits will not provide sufficient protection.
It will provide sufficient protection for you and your crew people to provide you're not there for too long because you've got the medicine.
Okay.
Medicine essentially is going to give you a much better working operating time there.
Plus, when
When I
we get over to to there, we're going to have to take our hoods off so that we can see the actor spaces, right?
Yes,
Like,
when I
exactly.
when I give Captain the hypo spray, I do make a point of saying how it was extra challenging to work on this.
well, that was why you were the logical choice, Barrack. And I smile.
I think in the background we see the chief medical officer kind of still wincing from his dressing down last time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Commander Vate, what do you want to do in terms of like using your command? Are you trying to, create a trait for inspiration? Are you trying to generate momentum? What do you think, your kind of preparation planning action is here?
I think the major thing I can do, because we're going to go across, we're going to go across with Sabari and Varric, of course, and some red shirts. But
Supporting characters.
yeah. And I think that maybe I would like to try, but I think it would be this is a good time to create traits, given that we're going to be cut off from the Kintsugi once we get across there.
Hmm.
The major one is I would like to turn, what we were discussing with like keeping the tractor lock on and keeping the Kintsugi close. I would like to, oversee that basically and go through my search and rescue history and, tell them about like, at this distance, what can be done. I know the the transporters are out, but like, uh, you know, basically like I want to create a trait of, I don't know what's the right word for it, Kintsugi close or something like that.
Hold it steady.
Oh, steady, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, and I think your search and rescue makes perfect sense for that. I do think this is control plus command with the focus.
and do any of the ship stuff
You
come
will
into
get
it?
the ship's die for this. That will be comms plus command, which is a 9.
A nine and a 13. The rightmost dice on the summary will be the ship's die.
Okay.
A 19, but two successes, one of which is a crit.
Okay. So that's 3 successes. So you can create that trait of hold steady. So we've got that in there. And then you can ask a question with that extra success, or you can put it in the momentum pool.
Let's put it in the momentum pool because more momentum is always a good thing.
Okay. And don't forget, I'll just say this, I know you're low on momentum and you may be running through it at some point. You can always give me threat if
Always
you'd like.
friendly GM threat, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Linka, what do you think we see as the montage for you figuring out about this comms question? Is it you like working, under a board, playing with stuff? Is it at a control console? Is it in a Jeffries tube? What do you think?
I think this is maybe not a Jeffries Tube issue for now. I think there's a console. There is uh, there's some noise coming through because she's searching for a signal that she can actually modify. And once she has a signal, even if it is pretty faint, it's just more like she will then start to modify it by crawling under the console and dumping it with a sonic or not screwdriver and going up and explaining to it in Bajora the prophets don't like how it behaves right now. So please, would you no, no, Kitty. I'm not looking at Kitty right. I'm sorry. I get easily distracted by kitties. Yes, and then yeah, and then figuring out how to use this distress, how to modulate the frequency of this distress beacon so we can send stuff back on that frequency.
Perfect. So mechanically, we'll look at this. We check the
Mm-hmm.
stat, which is
Mm-hmm.
attribute is reason. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
9. And
Mm-hmm.
then your department for this would be engineering.
Mm-hmm. That's 5.
Now, we look and we go, oh, you've got a focus, distress signals that
Yeah.
applies.
I know.
That means when you roll those two d20s,
Mhm.
anything that rolls a 14 or less is success, but if you roll 5 or less, it's a crit. So let's
Okay.
let's start with those 2d20, and then I'm going to show you the ship's die after that.
Okay. I have B's things and I have D20s here. I want two of them, or do I want three?
You want 2d20, and then we'll have you roll a single d20 after that.
Okay, okay. And then I just click on this and we'll see how that goes. Okay,
Okay.
it goes pretty good. Well, it's
So
not a
we've
crit,
got
but
two successes, which
yes.
is what you need
Uh-huh.
to succeed. The difficulty is, unless I say otherwise, is usually a 2. And
And there's the ship's die. It's also a
okay,
success.
okay, yeah. So you
Oh,
have 3 successes.
cool.
So the 2 successes mean that you're going to be able to establish comms.
Mhm. Cool.
And then that other success that we have left
Mhm.
becomes momentum, and you can use that to immediately ask a question, or you can put it in the momentum pool for people to use later to buy extra dice or ask questions or create traits or whatnot. What would you like to do?
I think I would put it into the momentum pool as well because I don't have any really important questions about the distress signal right now. No, no, I think momentum pool sounds good. That sounds like we might need it. I remember vaguely the rules from when we did the playtest
Oh
of the
yeah,
battle
yeah.
system. So,
So yeah, you've got a communications, and I like to
mhm,
imagine that we see this on the bridge as the
mhm.
comms come through, uh, uh, and we see Farga transmitting back, and you'll get this voice come through. Hello, hello, who's out there?
Let Commander Vate know that we have connection.
I think maybe this scene was on the bridge, while you were fiddling and Fargo, and like everybody was silent, held breath as you made these modulations. Then there was the crackle, and then the looks around. It's good to hear your voice, Stockton. We were worried there was no one left alive on there.
Uh, uh, this is Ensign Varant. Um, uh, I'm they've got me managing the distress comms. We're cut off in several sectors of the ship right now. We've got a lot of damage to the superstructure. There's a group still down in engineering. There's a group trying to get repairs to the main crew compartments and the shuttle bays. And then there's the section that's on the saucer. We've lost the bridge. When we took the damage to the saucer section, it blew out completely. I don't have a track on which senior officers are still alive and moving, sir.
Thanks for
It
the
is, sir. I'm not getting much. I he seems terrified.
good work, Baron. You've done well. Uh, we'll be sending over a shuttle as soon as possible. We're going to try and help out your team in engineering and see if we can bring back some of your engine power.
That's the thing, sir. The shuttle bay's doors. We've been trying to get them open, but they're jammed right now. We would try to get somebody on the outside to do an EVA, but we can't even get to the EVA suits.
We'll take care of it, Baron. Don't worry.
Uh,
Uh, or tell everyone to get out of that shuttle bay.
Understood. Understood.
Um, Baron, do you have access to? Can you reach any of the pattern enhancers?
Uh, I'll see if I can find someone who has experience with the transporter, sir.
Gather as
Uh,
many as you can.
okay. I'm in life sciences.
Well, uh, the Federation is always in need of good botanists. And life sciences, apparently. But yeah, hold tight, Baron. We're coming to get you.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, let's hit the shuttle, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah. Think we cut to that. Now, Sabine, one of the things that we didn't get to in the game that we played with the sort of combat simulator is uh, we have what's called supporting characters. And at any time, if your character like isn't appropriate for a scene, but you want to be in the scene or you want to do something, we've got the various supporting characters that are on the NPC, not the NPC tabs, but the ships and crew tab, and you can always pick up one of those and run one of them in a scene. Right now, well, I think we'll definitely see uh, one of the better shuttlecraft, probably the runabout that's on the Kintsugi with Savari, Vate, and Averic on board again with a number of other personnel loading off. But that means that if you need to do something back on the ship, you can pick up a character to do those roles there. So, who's piloting?
I'm just going to have a look at the supporting crew and if any of them are, I don't think any of them are good pilots because we've always had Ward around to do all of that stuff for us. So I think the person who's piloting is Captain Vate.
Okay, that seems more than reasonable.
He's I think in his old like vacuum suit, which has a whole bunch of different the ships that he served on patches sewn in down the side of the sleeve.
Yeah, what does this series, what have they done for the evac suits? Is it a little more armored like on Discovery, or is it different? Like what is you've got patches on there, but what's different about its look? Anything unique?
Well, why don't we offer this up to Sabine for her first opportunity to shape the budget and the production design of this series in the US?
Oh, I love that. Let me just look at how these Star Trek evac suits usually look. Um, because that, well, I have,
The most
I,
recent ones I saw were on Discovery. I know
yeah,
that.
yeah. But I think these are the Kintsugi is pretty much gobbled up of different ship parts, right?
Yeah.
So I think the evac suits they are also from different eras,
Oh,
ships,
nice.
stuff like that. And we probably for this mission we will take the best that we get. So at least one of them will be very spiffy and new and white and shiny. And maybe that's the one Varric has because if we lose our medical expert, we lose everything, right? And then I imagine that Vade has something older, something that he brought here from somewhere else, pretty much. And I think Savari has just grabbed the first one that seems serviceable, and that's a kind of a couple one.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we've got at least one design that harkens back to the old original series Tholian Incident, so it's very silver reflective kind of look to it. All right, Commander Vate, this is a difficult task. Right now, you are trying to fly through this radioactive corona, kind of along the path that the tractor beam is working to get you over to the ship without getting pulled by the gravity well. You will have the ship's die, which we'll just say is a 12, like a 10-2 for that. Uh, let's have you make a daring plus con roll.
Yeah, and does Hold Steady help us in any way here?
Yeah, I think we'll take that down from a 3 difficulty for being difficult down to a 2 difficulty.
Okay. Well, difficulty two, it's within, I got my search and rescue focus as well.
Yes.
And I have a value of 14. So really, I should get at least two successes on three die, even if two, low. Let's
Yep.
see. Ooh, no, I
2.
don't.
Yes, you do, because
I
that's a
get a crit.
crit.
Yes,
Yes.
luckily I do. Yeah. Whew, thank God for the crits.
So what do we see on screen? Is it like what's the thing you overcome? Is it maybe drifting a little bit away from the tractor beam? Is it the shakiness of the solar flare? Is it the debris that's around
I think
the
it's
ship?
yeah, I think it's a part of the Stockton comes away from the ship and begins to like spiral, like just a strut of like part of the damaged nacelle begins to spin like faster and faster and coming in towards us as like from the the cabin of the shuttle, like everything's being illuminated by these flashes of coronal flares. Uh, and Barrack's looking at the radiation readings that are just going up and up and up. And then this huge bit of strut just like, and Vate manages to like pull it up and around and maintain the spin of the debris as he corkscrews in its wake back towards the Stockton.
So where would you like the shuttle to end up? Do you want to be on the outside of the shuttle base? Do you want to be, on the saucer where the brake is? Do you want to like find a an airlock that you hook onto? What do you want to be?
Um, I think that shuttle bay is priority one. Once we open the shuttle bay doors, they'll have access to EVA. The Stockton surviving shuttles will be able to start doing ferrying crew over to the Kintsugi. That's step one. You
Okay.
know, as we bring in the Kintsugi alongside the mangled wreckage of the shuttle bay doors, I imagine.
Okay. So yeah, we will see that shuttle pull up, and they can do the thing that they do. If you want to exit the shuttle, you can have the force field keep the atmosphere from going out. Uh, and uh, Vate, Suvari, are you both going out? Is one of you going out? Who is going to go out and try to get the shuttle bay doors open from the outside?
I can go. I mean, sounds like an engineering problem to me.
Okay.
Uh, you know, two hands are better, always better than one in zero G. Sabari.
I know, but it depends on the two hands. Not that I want to cast aspersions at you, Mr. Varric. Yeah,
No,
just
Mr. Barrack is not coming out there with you.
okay. Oh, very
Yeah,
good. I mean,
I'm coming out there with you.
okay, that
Yeah,
yeah, okay, that's yes.
So
uh, yeah.
what?
I'm trying to imagine who the supporting characters would be on the show, but they're just in distinct spacesuits at the moment, I
Right.
think. Yeah.
Um,
Uh, Mr. Barrack, take care of the show. We step out into the void, I guess.
okay. And the thing is, you're so used to the zero G uh, that it is weird stepping out into this space where you're actually feeling that pull from the solar body. And you can see from the outside Savari that it looks like a chunk of the damaged nacelle smashed in by essentially that external panel and the drivers. And it's going to require you to get that open and do that classic, we've got a hand crank to get the release done thing. But it's kind of buried under some stuff. Uh, so uh, tell me, Suvari, like when you go to do a task like this, are you focused? Are you excited? Like, what do we see happen? Are you nervous being doing this with the captain? What do you think?
I think I forget about doing this with the captain within 2 seconds because not usually a authority respecting thing person. Yeah, right. I don't know. I think I'm focused. I'm all three things at once, focused, excited, and yeah, a little nervous as well because this can go wrong, but also it's a task. And I mean, come on, we can just do this. I mean, we have a source of gravitation here. So if we just get this mess off, we can use that gravitation actually to our advantage because we wouldn't have that usually in deep space, but right here.
I like it. I think this is going to be
I just think that
fitness. Oh, yes.
I just think that they says, well, I suppose in orbit around a star is the best place to look on the bright side of things. It's about
I mean, we got to use what you got, what we have, right?
So fitness plus engineering.
Okay.
You'll roll 2d20, Savari, and then Vade is
Yeah.
assisting, so he will
Okay.
roll 1d20.
Okay. Okay. I will roll 2d20. I can do that.
what difficulty is this low?
This is difficulty 2.
I need another one of those. Thank you. Okay. And my difficulty is 14 that I need to roll under.
Yep.
Right? Yes. Come on, dice. Well, there's a 3.
So we've got 1 success. Vate.
Just having a quick scan of Savari's talent. Sadly, none of them I think seem to apply here.
No, sadly not. No, I don't see how I could. I mean, sabotage maybe, because let's
No,
just.
I succeed, so there's your
Okay,
extra
cool.
success.
Okay, cool.
So we will see the two of you like having to coordinate. One of the classic ones where you're not on the same thing, but you have to like both get on separate controls and get it open, and there'll be that moment when we kind of hear those bolts manually retract, and kind of as soon as it does that, then the shuttle bay doors will open up, and we can see various stacked crates. The hexagonal stacked crates will fly out into space when that is opened up, but they have cleared that, and you can see that they've got 2 shuttles on board here. They look intact because nobody rolled a complication, and you can essentially get back on your shuttle and maneuver it inside. Looks like the force field, once you get inside, you can turn it on to keep the Atmo in there. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, I want to start with Dr. Varick, Mr. Varick, and dealing with the medical situation on board this ship. Sound okay? Okay. Take 10s till 5 after. So I think we cut to the area kind of outside the shuttle bay, to the hallways that are out there, and we'll see maybe a dozen and a half people, a number of them badly injured, some people from an engineering team who were kind of trying to work on the shuttles, who were waiting for you to clear things out. So what does your approach look like, Varric? Like, what is your first goal? Is it immediate treatments? Is it triage? Is it to assess what the general problem here is?
Um, yeah, I mean, I kind of approach, is there anyone kind of providing any treatment to any of these folks as it
I
is?
know, and they will say, uh, med bay's up in the saucer section, and it's completely cut off. We can't uh, the what do you call them? Oh gosh, the elevators.
Turbo lifts.
The turbo lifts are down up to the saucer section, uh, and the secondary medical areas were blown out.
Um, is there, you said there's how many people who are,
Like in this hallway and stuff, they've got in this particular section about a dozen and a half people here, about 18.
okay. So I do some scans just to figure out how bad, the radiation, and then just, yeah, I do some quick triage to kind of
Okay,
identify
let's
where the
let's
bad
let's
parts are.
do this as reason plus medicine for information gathering and potentially establishing a treatment. You may use essentially you have a medical tricorder with you, so you can use that for that extra die. And that's just an extra die that rolls onto yours.
Okay.
And I think you definitely have a specialty. You have internal medicine and the tricorders for this. So 15 or less, and 4 or less is a crit. You're rolling 3d20.
Oh my gosh. Is that a 20?
Okay.
That is a 20. One of those is a 20.
Okay. So then you've got 3 successes.
Yes.
And your first question is, how bad is it?
Yes.
It's pretty bad here. This is clearly the area that has the most issues in terms of shielding, and you can see that a number of these people, uh, a portion of them are starting to not be able to see, and others have lost their hearing, and they're 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 only just now starting to realize that this is happening, and are kind of at that edge of panic there. Um, and then you get 2 momentum. You can ask more questions. You can establish a trait.
Um,
Uh, you can try to ease the situation.
I kind of want to put them in a place that's better shielded. And I'm
Okay,
wondering if one of the shuttlecraft would be a good place for it.
absolutely. So that's a question. Yes, if you can get them into those shuttlecraft right now, even before you have them like launch off, they can turn on the internal shields on that, and that will double it up, and it will halt the progression of this radiation.
I convey this to Captain Vate in the hopes that I can get some help with moving these folks.
Of course. And we see our first supporting character. I think it's Ham Hacker,
Okay.
the security officer who was from lower decks, zero G expert. So he was clearly assigned to this. You know, uh, okay, everybody, we're going to move you on to the shuttles. There's a great radiation protection there. I want you to listen to Dr. Barrick, and let's move out.
And you will be able to get like everybody on. There is one person who is essentially their operations manager who will say, I'm going to stay here until we can, if we have to get other people in and back, I need to stay on station.
I as soon as they start talking, I'm like scanning them with a medical tricorder to evaluate uh, whether I agree with their ability to stay.
They are desperately trying to hide the fact that they are having trouble hearing you. Like they're watching you very intensely. They're clearly looking for those cues that are nonverbal to hide the fact that they can't hear.
I hold up the tricorder and there's a thing on the screen that says, "What is your name?"
Bosun, Bosun, sir.
Bosun. You don't need to call me sir. It's Dr. Varick or just Varick. And I'm shouting. I'm shouting
Okay.
this.
And he's kind of clearly like listening, and then he realizes that you're shouting, and you see him kind of,
Get on the shuttle. Yeah.
and he will reluctantly get over to there. So yeah, you can get these people up. You can get them set onto those shuttles.
I'm
Uh,
treating them in order of their kind of severity. I
okay.
think this hypospray will let me kind of at least start to cure their radiation
Yeah,
poisoning.
you can. What is clearly is right now it's having that kind of sort of interfering effect. It's damage that is reversible, and so you can use that hypo spray that you brought with you, get them onto the shuttles, and get them set there. Uh,
Uh, Barrick, any objections to us moving the injured across to the Kintsugi immediately?
Uh, I think that would be acceptable, sir.
Good. They still need you here.
Understood.
uh, Ham Hacker, I want you to get I want you and the ensign, and I just point at an empty suit that we still haven't seen the face of, and we won't see the face of now because they're just ensign.
right.
Um, take the injured across in the Stockton's 2 shuttles. As soon as they're uploaded, I want you to fly back here uh, unless we establish comms and tell you otherwise. We may need to take everybody off the ship by hand.
Understood. Understood. We'll get over there and back, sir. and uh, he will look at the other person, and I think we see like a second kind of the reflection, and we can see that it is Ensign Cayley as the other pilot, the one who we've already established is not a good pilot,
Terrible
uh,
pilot, yeah.
and they will go and move to the two shuttlecraft. Um, and if I may, Captain, here's what I'm going to offer you. They'll get back. You don't have to roll. There's no problem. But I'm taking that hold steady trait to do it.
Ooh, you gonna spend your threat pool for that, or is that?
That's I'm making you an offer.
Mhm. Okay, okay, then fine. No injured people to have to come back for. You know?
Exactly. You get these cleared, and it will take a bit, but you'll be able to get, shuttles back here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's got to be a coronal flare or something, right? That comes that the two shuttles barely avoid as they're going back, but then the Kintsugi has to move out of the way. We've lost that trait.
Absolutely. So this area you've got cleared for the shuttle. You've gotten the personnel that were accessible in this area out of here. You know that there are two other areas where people are trapped right now. The one that is closest is engineering, where they're clearly, keeping the shields up, keeping the power up, impulse, all of that. But then the probably larger group of people that are up on the saucer section, which is cut off right now.
Mm.
So how do you want to divide and conquer, or do you want to take everybody together on something, Captain?
Well, if we can restore power, can maybe use the Stockton's tractor beam to boost the power of our own, or some other sci-fi nonsense, right? As long as the Stockton has power, we can do all kinds of sci-fi nonsense. And
Hmm.
we've got to rescue people from both sections in any case. But perhaps I'm loath to. We could split the party.
Yes, you could. You're
Yeah.
the person you would have to EVA to get up to the saucer section, which certainly speaks to your experience. And Savari could certainly get to engineering, and the doctor could go with either of you.
I think. Uh, I think the funniest thing would be, Vate looking at Varric and says, "Well, Mr. Varric, care for a walk?" And we're going to EVA across the ship, basically, to to get there. And Savari and a supporting crew member, perhaps, to go down into the engineering. Do they have to take the shuttle or the?
It looks like Suvari, I think, has enough knowledge of the layouts of the ship that it is possible to Suvari to lead an expedition to dungeon crawl
Yay.
down to that area.
Yeah, I mean, we can take the Jeffries too. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fine. Savari is a little disappointed that she doesn't get to evac, but okay, okay. This makes more sense. This makes more sense. So yeah.
Uh, okay, so let me ask this. Let's figure out who the engineering team is. It's Savari, and who do each of you want to have with Savari?
We already sent off Hamhacker and what was her name? Sorry, she's not written down there.
Oh yeah, no, Ensign Kaylee. She's on the NPC tab.
Kaylee, there we go. I think you know what, Ensign. Well, who would you like to pick, Dan? Do you have anyone you'd like to be? No.
I
Uh,
don't think so. No.
I will be Ensign Warewash,
Okay.
the science officer who's come aboard along with you.
Nice.
Shall we say that Juris is?
Well, I was thinking if tractor beams were essential, he might stay
That's true.
on the Kintsugi. Would it be weird for Farga to come?
No, that'd
Yeah.
be good. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
do that.
so
Varga's more resistant to the radiation thanks to her augments, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
So Savar, you kind of in charge here.
Okay.
You've got with you Ensign Farga
Mhm.
and Ensign Werewash, or Jellin, and our sort
Mhm.
of slightly cyber augmented.
Yeah, okay. Seeing the
Tell
pictures.
me, tell me what it is that you do, like is it getting open Jeffries tubes? Is it scanning for routes? What do you think we see as the first thing here?
I mean, yeah, I think scanning for safe routes would be the first thing. And then we go to the Jeffries tubes, of course, because that's always a good way to get to places. But I would like to see first if we have a safe route
Absolutely.
where we need to go.
I think that's reason plus engineering.
Okay.
I think that's difficulty to map out a
Mhm.
route
Okay.
here.
And what does difficulty two mean? Does that mean I have got to get two successes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I get my own two, right?
Yep.
And okay, let me see. No, it's not. Plasma colors is not right
All right.
currently. We're not trying to sabotage this poor ship. No, but I have a sensors expert, right? One of you is a sensors expert. Yes. So does that give me anything?
We'll say because they're there, we'll give you an extra D20. Essentially, that's the
Okay.
so 3D20, and you're
Okay.
looking for 14s or less.
Yes. No. Yes. Now I made 40/20. How do I get one of them
We can
to
just ignore
leave?
the last of the dice if you want.
No. Okay, I'm just rolling these and we'll ignore the last. Which one ever is the last?
Okay. So the last one is a 14.
Okay.
So we've got one success.
Yeah.
Uh, so I
And we
think,
need one more, right?
yeah, what you will realize as you are looking at this is you're seeing the damage
Mhm.
and you have an idea about what the route would usually be, but suddenly you're having to rethink,
Mhm.
and we're going to have to make a jump up across this one junction as an open gap. Why is
Oh,
there this dangerous, spinning blade here that you've got to jump past in,
I can
that,
give you an explanation. It would take a while now.
yeah.
And I think we're pressed for time.
Uh, so we're going to do this as a montage, I think, before
Mhm.
we kind of make a final roll. So in that kind of classic travel thing, uh, what is the first obstacle that the three of you hit, Savari? Is it a jammed panel? Is it crackling electricity? Is it gas? Is it having to slide down something? What is the first obstacle?
I think the first obstacle is maybe a crash down panel that we will have to manually get out of the way.
Okay. And so this is in that travel montage style. So tell me, it's not a rolled thing.
Okay.
Werewash, how do you solve this problem? What is it that you bring to bear to fix this panel that has fallen is jammed up?
Werwash with his incredible not well 9 in fitness. Okay, he's not the worst in the world. I think that Werwash, you know, just well, he's actually like focused on salvage, right?
Yeah.
So he starts to dismantle like part like this, like the team like pushes at it and it doesn't go anywhere, and then Werwash like says 1 second, and then he pulls out a tool and begins dismantling like a section of it, like reducing the weight by half, so that it just detaches from each other.
Absolutely. You know how to cut things down to get them out of the way, and you'll do that, and the team can move forward.
We can do. I forgot. We've got the phases can be used as like welders, right? Like
Yes,
arc,
absolutely.
like cut through like a portion of it, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
And then Werewash, as you move along through these Jeffries tubes, what is the next obstacle that you hit on this journey?
Oh, I think it's a sparking conduit, it's one of those classics like the Jeffries tubes and now death traps. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's-
And Farga, what do you do to overcome this?
I think whenever one of my augments allows me to, I've got tools that kind of built in, and so combination of tool in my hand and the tool in my augment, I deactivate the circuits that are
Okay.
sparking.
Moving up a little bit, you're taking a little more of the electricity because you can manage it and get up in there and break that circuit, and we'll see that power down, and the glowing lights will dim, and you can move forward, smoke in the air, moving. You're clearly getting closer to the engineering section, and you can feel the thrum of the engines nearby. But what is the last obstacle that you all have to get past to get to engineering?
I wonder if one of the force fields is faulty and defective, and so is there's a force field essentially
Okay.
in front of us.
Is it stuck on? Is it doing that flicker thing? Is
It is
it
100% flickering and the kind of thing where if you get caught in it, you will be sliced in half.
okay?
Yep.
Safety protocols down, doing that
That's right.
flicker. Savari, what do you do to overcome this problem?
That actually reminds me of this force field that it's the same prototype, right? That the Cardassians used for a lot of security. I know how to unfix this, how to make it go away. So I will take up I think it's a tricorder. My tricorder is a little has some modifications, let's say.
Okay.
And I pointed at that and I enter a couple of numbers or commands, and then the whole thing will make it's a bit we will lean into the special effects budget for a little bit. It just sputters and sparks, and then it's gone.
Perfect. And doof, it will go off. I think maybe the other two you can see this that Savari definitely has a non-standard regs instrument there. Uh, as you move into the engineering, uh, you realize the warp core is down. Uh, as soon as you get in, like you can smell the fluid leakage, and immediately you'll know warp is offline. Impulse engines are going. You can hear the thrum of other things. However, as you kind of come out of this conduit, you will see that there are a dozen people here in engineering, and they are all unconscious.
Oh, should have taken the doctor.
It looks like they're not sure exactly what's happening, but we'll come back to you in a moment. Uh, Vate, Varric, getting your suits on.
Do I
Uh,
get an NPC to go with
exactly. I'm
them
about to
too?
ask you who you want
Oh, cool.
to bring along as the
Oh,
third person in this team.
oh, let me look at them
And you can
also.
use that, or if you want to come up
Mhm.
with somebody, you're also welcome to come up with somebody too.
No, I think I'll take one of these. I think I already saw someone. No, that was the one who's gone with you. I think maybe that's not weapon systems, probably not helpful.
There's
Um,
Lieutenant Topia, who's another engineering character.
Or Kaylee, who's in
Yeah.
medical.
yeah, I think Kaylee, who's a medical, we're taking her. She's also good at counseling
Yes.
and gambling, which might be useful.
So you both can ask, how does
Mhm.
variation make you feel? Um,
I mean, we have probably people who are a little stressed out.
right. Um, this is the Jolene's lower decks character
Mhm.
from that. So we will see Vate, Varric, the shot where we cut to the outside, we cut sound out. just to illustrate that, we're out in space there. And we will we will begin. Commander Vate, this is sort of your bailiwick. This is a little bit like the situation that Savari had. You've got some external sensors and so on, and you've got your visuals from coming in. You've got to figure out a route. So, what do you want to roll for that?
Um, I would like to start with seeing I may immediately ask one question if I had spent one momentum on the obtain information spend. I would like to do a quick survey and what's a good route? Would that be
Well,
possible?
uh, so you're making a roll to figure out the route. I'll answer a question for you.
Hmm. Answer a question. Answer a good question. No, I'll just roll to figure it out. I just thought I'd give that
Okay.
a try. Why
Yeah,
not?
but hang on to that because we could certainly can ask that question when we go into.
Yes. I think this is I think he goes we get outside and he doesn't so much like assess everything carefully as he just turns around as they all enter the vacuum, and I think we hear the crackle over the comms, right, like fading in and out. Kintsugi with the coronal flares can't maintain. We see the ship pulling, away from, and Bate looks at Kaylee and Varric, uh, and he says, holds up a hand, says, stay close, stay on me. Kaylee, you're there. Varric, you're there. If you don't move from those spots behind me, unless without telling anyone about it, right? We're going to move fast on my, and he turns, and I think I'm going to use daring plus security. I mean, potential perils, I think, or
Yeah, I like that. I think that's appropriate. So you're really going very instinctual. We're going to
yeah,
figure out the route as we go along here.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I
Uh,
think that in his experience, that on ships this size, your ability to comprehend the geography and the damage and stuff, right? It's better to just keep moving,
okay.
particularly when the time's down. Is that right?
You have search and rescue. This definitely applies here.
What difficulty is this?
I think this is, as I said, set for Savari, a difficulty 2 to create the map here.
Oop, oop. I accidentally tried to add a theme to my dice and then lost my ability to interact with the dice roller at all
Oh,
for a second. I gave up on that. Managed to work out. So that's 2 die. Um, I'm going to I'm going to leave it at 2 because if we fail, then something terrible might happen, right? And dramatic.
yes.
Yeah, cool.
So 2d20, 16 or less, fives or lesses are two successes. Okay.
Ah, well, that's 2 successes. That's 3 successes.
Three
Yeah,
successes. So you can ask a question or put a point of momentum into the momentum pool.
I'll put a pool into momentum pool.
Okay. Uh, so yeah, I think you can plot out a route that is fairly quick, so that more badness isn't going to happen by the time you get up to there. But we're going to do that same thing. What is Commander Vate? What is the first, like, you're on the outside of the ship, it's damaged, we've got the coronal thing. What is the first obstacle that you kind of need to get past to get up to that saucer section?
Hmm. I think that the first obstacle is, um, I think it's an undetonated munition, Cardassian micro missile,
Okay.
embedded in like it exploded and it's scattered across the hull, ripping it open, right? Like each individual munition embedding and blowing up. But then, like, we go through a little area where there's, it's like a mini minefield on the outside of the hull, basically.
Okay. Uh, and let me ask then, Varric, what are you doing? How are you assisting to get past this particular obstacle?
Um, I recalibrate my tricorder to detect the radiation that these micromissiles are giving off, and I upload them to our respective suits so that they kind of appear as on the heads-up display, so we can
Absolutely.
walk
I
around.
love it. We get you moving along carefully with maybe that sort of alien sort of sensor sweep, the beeps appearing on that, people stepping in. Oh, wait. Not too close. And then moving along, and you will get past this patch there. Uh, what is the next obstacle as you're moving on the outside skin of the ship, making your way up? Probably that piece that connects from the uh, nacelle shuttle area up to the saucer section.
Hmm.
What do you think, Varric?
Uh, I uh, I I'm gonna do the same thing. Like there's a uh, the external shields
Okay,
are malfunctioning
Um,
and creating some interference with our ability to kind of adhere to the
yeah.
ship.
It's doing that sort of thing where from time to time it will demagnetize,
Mm.
and you're finding yourself, suddenly having to wrench on. Uh, what do you think that Kaylee is doing to get you past this, help out with moving past this particular problem, Savari?
I, yeah, I'm not me. I think since the magnetizing thing is going off, that means like we're floating a little bit more than we should. And I think I think she might actually be in one of the dancing classes. So
I like it.
that gives her at least some way to move, right? To control her movements. She's not a fitness expert or anything, but she has grace, and she's kind of using that. And instead of trying to keep your magnetized boots on the ground, she will do a sort of a handstand and flip over, and then hit the control button that stabilizes the magnetism at least a little bit.
Nice, nice. You spotted where that area is. You do that bounding, leaping, graceful dance, land, and toof, we'll hear this the into your suits the sound of those remagnetizing, and then you're up on the saucer section. There's one chunk of it that's torn out. You can see that the bridge is blown out. You're trying to make your way to the more contained area. But what's this one last challenge that you have to overcome? Energy bleed, a tricky piece of debris. What do you think?
Yeah, there's a tricky piece of debris. There is an unexploded torpedo from one of the attack ships. That's kind of in our way. It's kind of blinking
Okay.
at kind of the screen reads like zero. It should explode. It didn't. Something. Yeah.
It's a classic photon torpedo, proximity fuse, but timer, and it's just hanging there, Captain. It could go off at any second. What does Vate do?
Uh, this is why he points to it and he says, "This is why the Stockton came into near the stellar object in the first place to to escape these." And looks around at the wreckage. Didn't run fast enough, I guess. Okay, and I think that what he's going to do is I think we can carefully walk around. That's not very dramatic. I think that what he does is it's just floating there, right?
Yep.
And he looks around um, and he says, "I'd say stand back, but this is either going to work or it's not." And he picks up a chunk of the hull that's detached from the ship, looks at it, looks at the thing, braces, locks in his magnetic boots, and then hurls the object, and like it dinks the torpedo and gives it just enough momentum to begin trailing further away from the ship.
To break that sort of gravatic lock
Yeah.
that it has, and it will drift. And I think there'll be a moment where it's going to pick up speed as it gets outside of this. And then there is that moment when the solar radiation and stuff hits it, and there will be the explosion of the photon torpedo will illuminate everyone's suits there. And then we will see you all make your way inside. There, you kind of do you think you come in through like an airlock, or do you think you come in through the damaged portion here? What's more interesting for you, Captain Vaders, or something else?
I think the damage portion is cooler, right? Like picking our way through the hole, and then before we get to the door, right? Like the and then force fields like generated behind us, right?
Yeah, in that classic way where they kind of close it in, and we'll see you come in, and we're clearly here in one of the upper command areas, and uh, there is here a good couple dozen people. It looks like everyone from across the saucer section has come here to try and make it their way. And you will see that there is a Vulcan there who will look up super calm as you come in, and will kind of narrow her eyes and nod to all of you, and you will see your friend there.
I have no
Um,
friends.
I've forgotten her name, but I have to go look it up real quick. Lieutenant Tapran.
Tapran, I should have expected to find you amidst this chaos.
Absolutely. I will say that generally I am pleased that you have arrived.
It is delightful to see you again, unfortunately, under these circumstances. Can you give me an assessment of the situation here?
I've tried to group the people into triage pools as you explained them to me before back at uh however, I'm an engineer and not a medical doctor. Damn it. So if you could see to them, we have one more group that we are in communication with here in the saucer section, but we haven't been able to get to them. Oh, Captain.
Lieutenant, good to see you again. Uh, the outpouring of emotions of affection from you and Barrack, but beautiful to behold. Like, you know,
There is
but
there is no need for insult, Captain.
I apologize. Good job, anyways, Lieutenant. Kaylee, Barrack, uh, I think we can make our way over to the isolated group, but are you needed here to treat the injured?
All
Um,
right.
I'm happy to go over on my own to the section if the medics are needed here, or take someone with me, or in the classic of Star Trek theme, whoever wants to go can go, and whoever
Yeah.
doesn't want to go instead.
We're going to come back to this scene in a moment, but and we're going to kind of like we're going to have a certain clock on the injured, how many you can get done before the situation gets worse, and we'll resolve debate. But let's cut back to engineering. Savari, Farga, Warewash, you've come down in engineering. There are a dozen people here lying all over the place. What do you do, Savari?
Oh, great. People lying all over the place. Just my area of expertise. Um, uh, I will look to the other two and say, anybody of you took some medical courses?
No, I,
No.
I, I I'm good with computers.
Yes, that's not very sorry, but that's right now. These aren't computers. Can anyone, no, you points at the person who just spoke, can check their life signs, okay? And maybe try to get through, one of you is a communications expert, right? Yeah, Farga. Commander Farga, Instant Farga, sorry. Instant Farga, if you could try to get through to the other team with the whole medical people, so we can maybe establish some communication there. I will go and look at the power system.
Okay. So let's have you make essentially an assessment of the power situation here.
Yes. Yeah. And how do I do that?
I think this is reason plus engineering.
Okay. Fair enough. And it's power system, so
Absolutely. Yeah. So 5 or lesses are
okay.
double successes.
Okay. I need 3. Do I need 3? Do I need 2?
You roll 2d20. You could spend a point of momentum to give yourself an extra die.
How much momentum do we have for?
Yeah, you can only ever have 6. So
yeah, I'm inclined to do it unless somebody wants to say, no, don't do that.
yes.
Okay, then I will do that, yes.
Okay, it goes to a 3.
And this goes to also to a 3. So yeah, let's roll these. Well, there's a 3, which means that's 2 successes, right?
2 successes, plus another 1, so 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. Cool.
So it looks like right now they have managed to task almost everything to life support and shields.
Yeah,
there is some impulse here that is kind of minorly trying to fight it back against gravity, but not too much because the structural issues. It looks to you like in terms of the power systems, like life support is the one that's most in danger right now of going down.
Okay.
You have 1 momentum, which you can use to ask a question or throw a momentum into the pool.
I think I might actually want to ask a question if I can't think of a good one.
Sure.
Because I mean, okay.
And feel free to go full like technobabble. Think big picture Star Trek.
I think, okay, the work core is down, but is it completely down? Or can I just grandfather in some of the power that is still going on into the power system? Because that would be the first thing. I need more power here, and I don't have enough. I need more of that.
If you could get the Kintsugi closer, there is a way, especially using that established tractor beam, you could potentially send a pulse through here to at least short term kick on the warp drive. And maybe, using both the Kintsugi and this ship and the gravity well, try to slingshot.
Yeah, okay. That sounds totally reasonable.
I
mean,
that makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense, and what could go wrong?
Okay, so that's what you will know.
Okay.
Let's come to our communications person. Farga, you want to try and establish comms or something else?
No, I like that.
Okay.
Comms with the Kintsugi seems
All right.
to make sense.
No, with the medical team, actually.
Oh, with the medical team.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're closer, right?
So reason plus science, I think.
Not engineering.
You're better with science. Farga.
Farga. There. Yep. Yes, she is. Okay, that's a 13.
Okay.
That's 1 success. Do I get a ship's die?
Yes, you will get a ship's die. 10 or less for the ship's die. Ooh, so just enough. So you will be able to establish comms with the medical team, uh, which will give essentially you can pass communications back and forth between establish that and so that people can be updated on status. It will also give Werewash an extra D20 for their triage.
He's going to need it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Werewash reason plus medicine, 3D20.
Difficulty.
Difficulty 2.
I'm very bad at medicine.
Yes.
We're all very, very bad at medicine.
Yes.
We're all got a 1 in medicine. We're the worst.
Yeah.
The worst
Yes. I
people.
saw that. I saw that. But
Perfect.
somebody's got to take care of these people.
Yeah. So, but I have got a 10 in reason. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's pretty good. So it's 11. So
Okay.
3 guys could be enough. But I'm going to buy, we've got some nice momentum there.
Yep.
Mhm.
Let's
Spend
spend
it.
So that is down to 2 momentum, right?
Yep.
Okay. So 40, 20. 1 success.
1 success. Werewash, do you have a value?
Yes, Wash has the value of um, family is everything.
Yeah.
Sadly, family. So, oh, you know what? I do have a talent, in fact, which I should have used there, which is did the reading where I can turn everything into a science roll.
Oh,
Like,
well, what is that? Then that actually is 2 successes.
yes,
Yes.
then I will take
So
that.
what does that look like? Like, how is it that we see you, you know, this is medicine, but you're like, let's just make it scientific. What do we see?
Uh, yeah, so I'll spend. The 1 momentum I spent is instead the science that turns it into a science roll. I just have to spend 1 momentum when I have
Okay.
it. Um, Again, a focus related to that task. Uh, I think he's. I think he was listening to Mr. Barrack on the shuttle talk about this type of radiation and its effect and how it can be scanned for on the tricorders and everything. And so he punches up like the submenu on his tricorder and begins reconfiguring it to like screen out the radiation so you can get like, clear readings from these people or identify how this radiation has harmed these people if that's what the case is.
Perfect. And I think it is that they have been overcome by the radiation. They are unconscious. They tried to hold themselves together to the last. Longer term exposure is going to be bad, but none of them are dead. But you're going to have to physically move them out of here or get the whole ship out of this area. Does that sound like a reasonable answer?
That's like a great answer, yeah.
Okay.
He well, it looks like they're going to make it as long as we can get the Stockton them or the Stockton out of here soon.
Okay, let's cut
Uh,
to, oh,
Just
yes,
one question. How
please.
many people were there?
A dozen.
Okay, we can carry it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Let's cut back to medical. And this is Varric and uh, uh, Kaylee.
Mhm.
And I'm going to have you both make medicine rolls here.
Ooh.
We've got a number, we're going to say 5 ticks worth of injured here. We want to get
Mhm.
5 total successes on your 2 individual rolls to essentially get these people treated and safe. So, Varric, let's start with you.
Is there any reason to think this is not reason? Because we are in a stressful situation.
Are you making an argument that it is something different?
Well, the only thing I'd want it to be is control, but which seems so no, no, it's just fine.
Okay.
Uh,
It could be, if you're feeling stressed, we could make it presence and then give you a determination because crisis does reveal character.
Ooh.
let's do it.
Okay. So that becomes a 12 or less. but with your internal medicine, fours or less are two successes.
Okay.
You've got a determination, which you can't spend on this roll, but you can use it later. Do you want to spend a momentum?
Uh, sure.
That's the word. That's what I wanted to hear.
Mhm.
That's
3d20.
So 3 successes.
Absolutely. So
No hearts.
what does that look like? What does that montage look like with an assistant there, with your old associate there? Like, what do we see Varric in the heat of things?
Uh, I think he's in his element. I think this is like he doesn't need to talk to anyone. He doesn't need to. He can, as
They're
much
not
as
conscious. It's great.
yeah. This is. Well, these are the folks up in the saucer.
Oh
They're
yeah,
all
yeah. Some of
they're
them are
so,
conscious,
yeah,
but
but
they're not
they're
objecting to any of your treatments.
right, right. And but at the same time, if I need to shout at them because they're having trouble hearing, I don't feel self-conscious about that. I'm diagnosing. I think Kaylee and I actually work really well uh, together. She might kind of take on some of the more human
Yes.
interactions that are needed.
Mhm. Yeah.
And since they're all kind of sick with the same thing, we've got kind of a good workflow going.
Mhm.
Perfect. And then Kaylee, let's have you make that medicine roll. We've got still two ticks left to deal with, so two
Yeah.
successes worth.
And since Varric has set this up, I think what Kaylee is doing is she is trying to connect with people, right? Like get those people that are conscious. And I think I have the idea. I think Varric might go towards the people who are not, and Kaylee might go towards the people who are, and talk them down a little, and find out what's wrong with them actually, so I can roll with insight.
I like
That's
it. Yeah. Insight plus
cool.
medicine.
Yeah, and I
And
also have a focus on emergency medicine, which I
yep,
think might count here.
absolutely. So 14 or less,
Oh,
four or less count twice.
okay. Okay.
2d20.
2d20.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. 2d20. And we need two successes, but yeah. I mean, we only have the one momentum left, right?
That's correct.
So I'm gonna leave.
Sure.
What does insightful guidance mean though? Or what does field medicine mean? I
Uh,
don't know what the talents mean. I'm sorry,
okay.
but I
Uh,
feel they might be relevant here.
let me see. Let me quickly check that under medicine.
First
Uh,
response. I think that all of that is what we're doing.
you would ignore medical tasks. If there was a difficulty for not having the tools, you would ignore
Oh, okay.
that.
Okay.
Oh no, the first response is during combat.
Hmm.
And then insightful guidance is during social conflicts.
Oh,
So,
okay. This is not a social conflict. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll. Come on, dice, be nice to me. Oh, they're not that nice to me. How much do I need? 10 plus, I need 14.
yes.
No, nope, nope,
Now,
no.
you do have a value. So if you want to spend Kaylee's
Uh-huh.
only momentum for this
Yes.
session, you can
Uh-huh.
spend that
Yes.
and re-roll both those fails.
Okay, okay. Crew comes first is my value. And yeah, okay. So I think she will ignore all the sparking and the explosions and the suddenly the red alert goes off for at least a couple of minutes and then starts it. I think I want to re-roll these two dice because that was a really bad roll. Come on, that's been nice to.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
there we go. That's
Uh,
better.
so that's three successes, which means you can put momentum back in the momentum
Mm-hmm.
pool.
I will do that.
Like we've seen how Varric is focused and so on. What do we see you doing that like shows us? I mean, especially with that crit, that how are you? We see you taking charge here.
I think I'm maybe some of these people have some medical experience, maybe like talking to them, finding out what they're good at, how to get them to help each other, basically,
Hmm.
and create more of a communal effort instead of just yeah, here tricorder hyperspray.
Absolutely, absolutely. Commander Vate, You've been told that another section you need to get to. Life signs there. Tell me, what do you think it is for getting through the ship here? Um, and I
Yeah.
will let you use daring.
Yes. Yeah. Or fitness. I think it might be fitness. I don't
Okay,
get
yeah, I
fitness
like
very
that.
often, so
Yeah,
let's accept the same value, but why not get to pretend that it's that nice instead? Um, I think that it's con,
okay,
perhaps,
yeah,
because it's about navigating through the spaceship and the wreckage, right, and trying to make the shattered hull make sense as I move through its tangled remains.
absolutely. Then let's have you make that roll. Again, search and rescue applies as a focus.
How difficult is this? Is it difficulty two, Lowell?
It is difficulty two.
Okay. That's only one
That's
successful.
one success.
One success. Failure.
So uh, it is slow going, and you will make your way through, and you will break through into this next section, and then suddenly all of this water comes pouring out, just knocks you back to the ground, and you kind of it's a sudden force of things, and you will look up and you will realize that this is the last person who's cut off in cetacean ops, and it's a beached dolphin crew member uh, who is stuck here, and now all the water is out of their containment area. We will take five, and then we're going to come back. All right. I'm going to also spend a threat to make that even to kind of pay for that awfulness. So
Thank you. It's going to be hard to find a spacesuit, right?
yes, potentially they have them, but that'll
Yeah.
be its own role. We're going to take a 5 minute break. We're going to come back and we'll come back to engineering. So we cut back down to engineering. Some moving together of the unconscious people in engineering has been done, gathering them in place. Uh, and Suvari, what is the next step? You do have comms with medical, you do have comms with command.
Okay. Okay, very good. So I think what we need to do next, if the Kintsugi is the nearest source of energy that we have, we need that. If I can't wrangle the warp drive here, then I mean, we could try some other stuff, but we could try the business as usual, like trying to get into the tractor beam system and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think that business as usual creates complacency, and we can't have complacency right now.
Hey, everything's better with a working warp core, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So just crazy enough to work.
Yes.
So let's, we've got three engineers.
Yep.
I want to break this into three
hmm
distinct tasks.
hmm
Uh, uh,
Yeah.
and what you're planning on doing is through the tractor beam sort of connected up so the ships run parallel. You're
hmm
planning on using an energy pulse to kind of kickstart the warp
hmm
drive,
Yeah.
keeping the two ships lashed together, and then
hmm
kind of calculating a vector to get the ship out of here. Does that
Yeah.
seem
That
like I break down?
makes sense. Yeah. Somebody should calculate the vector.
Yeah.
Who's good in science?
Uh,
Oh.
Let's put the three
hmm
things as,
hmm
and then we'll kind of attach it.
hmm
Uh, Plotting the course
hmm
and the vector,
hmm
uh, lashing the two ships together,
hmm
and then the third thing is getting the calibration right for when you want to do the warp pulse. Um,
Mm.
so, Warewash, I think you're about to say,
I mean, Werewash is really good with computers.
okay.
Industrious mind. He's got computers, maintenance, salvage. I think, working out the vectors is going to require. Are there any terminals, computers around
Mhm.
here, I
Yeah.
suppose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So difficulty two, science plus reason, Warewash,
Yeah, she's his wheelhouse. Difficulty two.
with the specialty. So, or focus, it seems, computers.
Yeah, Werewash really doesn't want to, and I want to encourage us because it's my last session, so I'm going to
Mhm.
spend momentum because then
Uh,
I'm going to
well, your
bring.
first D20 is actually free because of computer
Oh,
expertise.
oh, sweet! I forgot about that. Again, I have forgotten to what any of my talents do the second they appear on a different tab.
Yes.
So 3d20.
3D20.
It's only one success.
So one success. So you've got it plotted. You're not entirely confident of it, like it's going to be dangerous for both ships, but you've got a course. If they can get it calculated right, you are a little bit nervous. Hopefully, one of the others will succeed enough to make up for your lack of success there. Uh,
For the like we have to harmonize kind of with the Kintsugi, right? So
yeah,
might be that comms would be useful.
sure. Uh, uh, F- Fargo, do you want to handle the sort of the coordination, getting that all locked in with the other engineering?
Sure.
Okay. Uh, so I think this is reason plus engineering for you, uh, and your focus of comms is appropriate.
Okay. What does my neural interface do?
Oh, that's a good question. Neural interface. Da, 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 da. Uh, oh, you may reroll 120 using a ship's computer.
Okay.
So you get a chance to reroll one of these dice after you roll it.
All right. Do I get 3 dice? One for the ship's computer or just
That is, yes, yes.
so 3 dice? Oh my gosh. The ship's computer succeeded.
And uh, so that is, you get to reroll one of those dice. Don't forget with your neural interface.
I just got
Okay.
I just rolled 3 17s.
Yes, you did. If we were playing D&D,
Great.
yeah.
Here we go.
Uh, so you two are desperately working. Savari.
How many successes do we need?
Well, they each needed two. They have each gotten
Okay.
one.
Okay. Wow.
Also,
Didn't
I need Vate to
I mean
uh,
didn't the focus die from didn't the three from where was no Farga?
not for the ship's die.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pity.
I
Okay.
do need Vate to
Mm.
roll the ship's die though.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so there's one more.
Mm.
No. Okay.
Mm. Wow.
So we come to
Yeah.
you, Savari. It's gonna right
Cool.
now,
Mm.
you're at 3D20.
Mm.
You can spend a point of momentum to get yourself up to
Mm.
4D20 if you
Mm.
want.
Yeah. Okay.
That'll be the last of the momentum.
Mm. Well, I mean, yeah, I think that might still be useful.
Yeah. I
Um,
I will even be
mhm,
generous
mhm.
and say that it is daring plus
Yeah,
engineering for
thank
this
you.
this
Yeah.
this truly
Yes.
crazy plan.
Oh, I was angling for that.
And
Yeah,
definitely power systems is your specialty.
yeah, it
So,
is. And can I choose to increase the complication range? What does that mean?
well, so the complication range is the range at which bad things happen.
Mhm,
If you roll 20, usually, then you get what you want,
mhm,
but something
mhm,
bad happens.
mhm.
Uh, and so you could do that uh,
Oh, okay.
to get yourself additional momentum. You
Yes.
you would you would What I would actually suggest, if I
Mhm.
may,
Mhm,
you have
sure.
a point of determination.
Yes. Oh, I still get
You
that.
can
Okay.
spend that before
Mhm.
you roll to
Okay.
give yourself two automatic
Okay. Yes,
successes.
I will do that. That
Okay.
sounds fantastic. Because I
So,
mean, my
so
value
how
came
do,
into
yeah,
play here, right?
tell me which value is applying here that is kind of pushing you forward. How do we know on screen that that's kind of driving you on?
I already said it. Business as usual leads to complacency.
Okay, awesome. So, so you're rolling 40, 20.
Mhm. Okay. And I need two successes, right?
Need two successes. There's almost no chance you could fail.
Thanks for jinxing it, Lowell.
Well, we saw a bunch of 17s already, so those have gotten out of the
Yeah,
system.
well,
Oh, look
okay.
at that.
No, no, this did not fail at
One,
all.
two, three, four, five, six successes. So we may put four in the momentum pool. And you are coordinating the
Mhm.
work that Farga and Werewash have
Mhm.
done. You've got it set. You've got it set to go. Everybody's going to have to brace when this happens, but you think
Mhm.
you've got it set. We're going to cut back uh, to Commander Captain Vate. Uh, what are you doing?
I mean, um, he's like on his knees as he looks at the cetacean and he pulls himself up and like goes over and kneels down and lifts up the dolphin, angling its face towards him, and says, Crewman, can you hear me?
Yes, comes through the little translator. Yes,
You injured?
it, flipper broken, swim difficult.
Ah, well, I know how much that hurts. Uh, uh, do you have a do you have an EVA suit nearby?
Uh, you have to uh, go through water to get to superheated, but it's there. Can you get?
Well, I think my suit should be able to cope with the heat. I'll be right back.
Okay.
And he says, "Don't go anywhere." Then winces underneath his suit. Yeah,
And you'll look, and it is a narrow tube that you have to swim down to get into the chamber to get that EVA suit, and the water is boiling.
yeah.
Visibility is bad.
Well, yeah, it's bad, but if this suit can withstand being near the heart of a star for a few minutes, it can probably survive some boiling water for a bit. Let's just hope I don't get injured on the way down.
Absolutely. Difficulty three, Captain.
All right.
Fitness plus security.
Um, I think that probably makes the most sense, right?
It does.
Yeah, it also covers survival skills and athleticism, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Gritting your teeth and going through. Um,
I
typically,
don't think you have a specialty for this, though.
no, I agree. However, I will give you a point of threat
Okay.
by momentum. I know how much you want it.
Ah, yes.
Nope, I rolled too many dice, I think. Ignore the last 12.
Okay.
6, 11, 12, 12. Three successes.
Three successes. So what do we see? Like what is the action sequence thing that we see you going through here?
I mean, it's the descending in, and it's that incredibly claustrophobic, like view of his face on the inside of the helmet as he sweats. The heat goes up, the really obscured view, and then like cloudy, like fizzing water as maybe like little sparks of electricity flickering through it as he enters into another area, and he's picking his way through until he gets to, I think, like a locker,
Uh-huh.
or maybe like a magnetic trunk, that he can
Hmm.
like release the catches, right? And rather than unfurling the suit down here in the water, not going to drag it back up, it's like pushing the trunk back up the hole so you can open it up further up.
Absolutely. And we'll see you.
There's maybe like floating, a couple of things floating in the water that the camera
Mhm.
doesn't file on particularly, but you can see they're wearing a Starfleet badge or a uniform or something.
Yeah, yeah. Little bit of fuzzy deep focus, so we don't see it
Oh,
exactly.
and a floating com badge coming
Yes.
across.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll see you come back up, get back up, start dragging this suit out. It's pretty easy. These are super flexible, and you'll start getting it on that. Uh, Varric, you've heard comms from engineering. You know the commanders got the station. You know what's about to happen is like they are going to kick this ship, give it and the Kintsugi, and right now, the problem with that is like it's probably going to work, but you're going to be going through like a burst of higher radiation and heat here. So, what are you doing to protect your patients for this, you know, sudden problem?
We're like in the middle of a Jeffrey's tube or something. Like we're or like a hallway.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, I want uh, force shield,
Okay.
I think, but I know that I'm unlikely to do that very well.
You want to get a medical containment field to, is that what you want?
Yes,
Yeah. Remember they use they use force fields in the
sick bay for
medical
that.
sick bay in very particular ways.
Okay,
So
let's
tell
do
me
it.
how you are recalibrating the medical containment field. Like what are you doing here?
I think there's a panel in the hallway, and I'm just simply kind of embedding. It's a lot of action on the panel, but it's sort of embedding the, I guess, transferring the sick bay program to this, whereas this
Hmm.
is more environmental containment. I'm trying to do something different with the
Okay.
existing force shield technology.
All
So,
right. I think that this is control plus medicine,
okay, that's very generous.
which is you're trying to be accurate, fast, and controlled in getting this over there.
Yep.
And I think that in this case, uh, Kaylee, Sabine, are you good rolling the assist die on that?
Yeah, sure, sure. I will
So
help with
you'll roll
that.
control plus medicine.
Mhm.
You'll roll
Okay.
1d20. You want a
Mm,
12 or less.
Okay,
I'll
control plus
do
medicine.
I'll do my
Yes.
roll first.
Okay.
Yes.
Two
Okay.
successes. And
Okay, then it's my roll.
yep.
No, I shouldn't have clicked on B's. I should have clicked on roll. Sorry.
Nice.
And the
Well, there
third success you need.
we go.
So I think that is we see you kind of, pulling that medical program over, kind of installing it quickly, getting it calibrated. You will see Tapan is behind, kind of getting people set, putting them in a smaller area. We'll then see the captain coming, running with the cetacean there in a suit. You get people set, and I think we cut to the Kintsugi and our uh, gosh, what's the name of that? Our new helmsman, Will
Mahoney.
Mahoney. Mahoney kind of desperately there. Everyone coordinated. Suvari, you're in the engineering. Like what is the punch it for this? Do you have to hit a big red button, Suvari, or is it like running across a console? What is the moment here?
I think I've got everything set up. All the machines are starting to beep, and then I have a I think I have, it's not a tricorder, it's an engineering tablet, right? Where you have different columns of energy potentials. And then uh, she goes like, okay, we got this. Mahoney, you ready?
Ready.
Okay. And then she pushes all of the columns up and you can just hear everything go like, boom.
there'll be a beam that comes with Kintsugi, comes down there, hits that warp core, and it's just a brief spark. But both ships, Kintsugi, kind of lashed to the Stockton, force fields around both, tractor beams holding, and there'll be just this woof as you go to, low warp one, but enough to blow through the solar corona. We'll see that sort of as it blows through the solar debris, and suddenly you're another part of the system, and everything shakes. And the for a moment, all of the lights had come on this Stockton from the warp power, and then they'll dim back, but the impulse power is still going, and you'll hear the computer going, heat levels decreasing from dangerous levels, radiation levels decreasing, and we'll kind of come down out of that. And I think then we cut to a shot of three ships, various rescue and salvage teams, like moving on the outside of the Stockton. We will see the Tace, and we will see the Kintsugi, and then we probably see warp in two Galaxy class vessels coming into the system and assuming patrol positions here. And this is sort of the end of the episode, chance to call a scene. So Savari, I'd like to give you a chance to call a scene like in the aftermath of this, where maybe a few days later, it's probably been a hectic time of doing a lot of repairs and things like that. But it's really one of your first really huge operations that you've been involved with. I want to call a scene with an NPC, with a PC, or if you just want to do a holodeck scene to tell us something about yourself, what do you want to have us see here at the sort of teaser end of the episode?
Maybe someone else go with their
Sure, absolutely.
so that I can
Yeah.
figure out what that will entail.
Varick, what do we want for your scene there?
Um, I think I want to go. I'm approaching Kaylee
Okay.
or Callie, however you say her name, and I admit to her that that working in such a stressful environment reminded me of a difficult time in my past, and I've been acting as ship's counselor for several weeks now, but I may need a counselor myself. And I wondered if she would be available to speak with me on a regular basis.
And I think, well, she's interacted with you. She's kind of a little bit in awe of you, and she will be absolutely, absolutely. I would be very pleased and honored to help you out as much as I can.
I would be grateful for your intervention and for another pair of ears to speak with me about these, to listen as I work through some of the challenges from when I was assigned to a colony and things did not go well.
Absolutely. And I think we'll hear the sound of the doors to Medbay, and we will see Tapran there with the shoulder bag that always signals about to depart from the vessel.
Right.
And she will approach.
Tapran, I cannot tell you how uh, delighted I was to see you aboard the ship. I'm sorry that you were stuck in such a difficult situation, but it was a relief to me to see someone with such a clear head in a leadership position in such a difficult situation.
Well, clearly I need a clear head given your emotional use of adjectives to describe your personal situation.
It is, um, let's just say that the habits of some of my compatriots are rubbing off on me. I'm trying things on for size.
It will be good when you return to a Vulcan vessel.
Um,
And just see, you see her, she'll actually stop herself and she will say, I, I had a very negative assessment of the situation as it stood. Then I felt that the situation was no longer as dire or as negative as it had been when you appeared on the scene. And I believed that our chances of survival and rescue were significantly increased by your presence.
I made a similar assessment upon my arrival, too.
You were
Uh,
correct in that assessment.
uh, Several weeks ago, I would have agreed with you that returning to a Vulcan vessel was the right move for me. But I have to admit, I am intrigued by the habits and rituals of Starfleet, and while I'm not necessarily prepared to extend my tour here, I do not find it as objectionable as I once did.
I have, I am relieved that you have been able to find a way through such that it is not disruptive to your inner harmony.
Depron, I don't know where you are going next. I do hope our paths cross again in the future.
I hope so as well. And she will turn and depart. And I think we do cut back to Kaylee, who's been watching this whole conversation, like clearly putting in her brain, okay, what was that? What was going on there?
The injured ensign being that she's treating in the bed next to her looks at her and says, like, logically, wouldn't it be quicker just to say how much they like each other?
uh Sivari, should we do your scene now?
I think we can. I'm still moving about what I actually want to do. Um, I think I would actually like to yeah, you know what? With the I think I heard about you, Varek, going through this boiling tube of water to get the evac suit for the dolphin person. And I think Savari is interested in recreating that as a hollow suite kind of, exercise
Yeah, and
challenge.
Commander Vate is saying, uh, no, Lieutenant Sabari, I'm sorry, Linker, no Linker, I will not give you permission to talk to the cetacean down in sickbay. Give them some time to rest, okay?
I'm not
Like,
interested in talking to the cetacean. I'm interested in talking to you, sir. And it's Savari is my first name, and I prefer that. So
oh, Linker Sabari, Sabari is your first name?
yes, and
Sorry.
Bajoran, we have our first names
Well, Vate knew
left.
that, but William
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
Yeah. We had a whole thing with Vate and Bajor and things before, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, when we went to Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, yeah, Vate will say, well, Lieutenant, I'm a little busy too, you know?
I
Um,
know.
well,
So
uh, speak to the airman. She'll put it in my schedule. I'll try and help you build your your holodeck program when I get a chance.
okay, fine. I
But
I mean it was just a question. If you're not interested in doing it, I can probably muddle around. Muddle along is fine.
I, I think there's enough data in the systems to simulate a boiling water inside of a Jeffries tube.
Mhm.
Uh, but let me know, and I'll be happy to give it a test drive when you've made it.
Okay,
Good work out there, by the way, Savari.
thank you, sir. Wasn't
I
just me, was the team.
Sure, but I don't think we'll find that maneuver in any Starfleet instruction manuals. That was some real out of the box thinking, and it was
Uh,
just crazy enough to work.
well, that's kind of my style, sir.
You'll fit right in.
Mm, yeah, I get the feeling.
And Vate, this is your last on screen with you, Will, as the actor. So what do you want as your last little scene here?
Um, this is the Stockton, right? That
This,
we This was the Stockton that we just pulled out of orbit, right? That took
yeah,
heavy, had its bridge destroyed.
yeah.
Now, isn't the Stockton where Captain Carlton was stationed?
No, he was on another cruiser, but you did meet and work with the captain of the Stockton during that very first mission.
Yeah. Um, I think it's Vate and Ward looking over, the images of the captain, um, the dead senior crew, and then the list of all the other names. And you got the USS Rousseau, and all that wreckage drifting past the ship as we see the salvage operations and everything. Uh, and he looks over at Ward, and he says, I I hoped I'd never see things like this again, Ward. But I think we did well today.
And I don't think Ward says anything. I think, like you, but for a very, very set of different reasons, seeing the wreckage, seeing the damage, all of that really does hit Ward hard.
Yeah, and it may be like the place where I was standing in the ship, right, has like a little plaque on one side of the hull and a little plaque on the other side of the hull, and this is where like the two fused joins of different starships that we were used to make the Kintsugi have been. And this is one of the join points, but it's like, wow,
Yeah,
this bit was the Colossus and this bit was the Rome. And yeah,
nice. And I think we kind of cut away. We see those ships in orbit there, and that's the end of that episode. Uh, I would like to do a quick stars and wishes, if you all don't mind, to wrap this up. Dan, can I start with you?
Uh, sure. Stars will. Always great to play with you. I'm gonna miss you in our one remaining month. And I really enjoyed Captain Vate as a character. Had that kind of uh, the ruggedness, I guess, of a lot of starship captains, but also slightly flawed in a Kirk-like manner, and it worked really, really well. So thanks for bringing Vate to the table. Wishes. I'm kind of interested to know who the captain's going to be for the remainder
So it is going to be Vate. We are going to put Vate in as NPC
as an
captain.
NPC. Okay,
There may be an NPC captain episode because there's a captain that is disreputable who is a previous thing who may reappear. But Vate will be our NPC captain.
fantastic. Let's see. I think as far as other wishes, uh, I'm kind of curious to explore Varric's past a little bit, which is why I brought Kaylee up and doing some counselor sessions with Varric.
Excellent. Maybe we'll make that part of the teaser to start next time is that
Sounds good.
counseling session.
Yeah, sounds good.
It would be nice if we do like a little bit of your counseling with other people for their seeds and then kind of end with on you
Great.
to kind of do that. Savari.
Yeah, I love the session. That was felt so much like Star Trek, that like with the whole problem that we had and this technical problem where I mean, I know you were fighting, but I like that we had a serious technical problem that we had to solve, and that was fun. And I also loved the both of the other characters, and I loved Marik's scene with this other Vulcan where they were like nice or something to each other. And I also like the whole therapy thing or counseling thing. I will miss Warwick, although I only had him for one session. That was a fun captain. I like a daring captain. So I mean, at least Savari does. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Um, wishes. I mean, I would just want to explore this setting a little more, and I hope that we will have Jolene and Devel, I think the surname of her
Yep.
character. And yeah, meeting her. That would also be
Yeah. Well, definitely.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the interactions between Savari and those two
Um,
characters.
yeah, and I also want to know how the B plots actually work. So
Okay. And Vate.
I mean, I know this was a great couple of sessions. I really loved the space combat session, and I really loved, rescue a stranded ship. The budgets on both those episodes were through the roof, right? It was great. I loved having the NPCs be just like faceless suits before they were invoked and they were somewhere else. I really enjoyed seeing Pran on the ship and Mr. Varric saving lives, like doing, and the lower decks NPCs like making a return. They were
Mhm.
great. The cetacean was a great twist to have. As soon as you said a load of water, I was like, I knew it. Like, yeah. Uh, but no, I really, really enjoyed playing Star Trek once again. I really enjoyed having this is probably my favorite part of the Federation, the Starfleet timeline is the Dominion War. Because I think it's also the first one, the only one where they really like say that it's over years. It's
Hmm.
like just a flash in the pan. Like Discovery always is like, well, it's been 2 weeks
Yeah.
and things over, right? Um, and Next Generation is usually just an encounter as opposed to extended, right? But this is great. Um, my wish is that everyone takes a turn playing Tabilik before they've and a turn playing Farga before the end of the campaign, because I think that those characters are the longest running alongside Vate.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think that the joy of the supporting characters is that everybody can pick them up as well. We do sort of gravitate towards your supporting character that you made, right? But then over the course of the series, you're like, oh, jurors would actually be really useful to have here. And Dan's already playing Barrack, so I'll take over jurors instead. And you expand a bit more. And I look forward to hearing that as I listen to the rest of the series. And I trust Lowell not to have they die in an uninteresting way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the things we'll do next time is do some advancements for the supporting characters. I think we've got those to do, so we'll get those in, and we'll probably milestone for everybody for another advancement of some kind. Thank you all so much. I'm going to stop the recording